yellow on them.
Hey, how's it going, everybody? Welcome. Go ahead.
Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, what's going on, everybody? Welcome to the interview with good old Hank from the basement. You know, we got a good show for you guys today. We want to talk about a big, important topic without the craziness of it all. You know, let's talk about the fatherhood. Let's talk about what it means to be a man, of being a husband. So, Hank, how are you doing today, sir?
I'm good, big bro. How about yourself?
Hey, another day, another easy day.
No one's fun. No one's
All
fun.
right.
I'm glad to be here with you young brothers, man. Having this good conversation. Hopefully, it could not only benefit you guys, but somebody out here in the chat.
Oh, and that's what we hope to give away to anybody that's in this video.
Yeah.
Top down.
Yeah, that's what we hope to achieve here. Yeah, definitely.
So
and to everybody out there, Wally will be the mod, quote unquote. He will be the moderator. Moderator. And like I said, both me and him will ask Hink questions. We're gonna, like I said, we're gonna get the deep end of who he is, what he likes, you know, his thoughts on fatherhood, all such what we just introduced earlier. So you know, to be respectful in the chat, and hey man, let's have a good night. Let's take some great information and wisdom from this man. All right, let's begin.
Wow. All right, so pretty much me and Jay both got 5 questions for you. I pretty much switched them back and forth. So one question will start off with Jay, the next one will be mine, and we'll just flip it up until we got all those questions out there. So let's start this off with the first one, and that is, what have your marriage experience been like, and what have you learned from it?
Man, great question. Unfortunately, I got to say that I was married before. It wasn't a success my first time around. I was married for a total of 13 years. We was together 16. Unfortunately, I made some selfish decisions to cause my marriage to be unsuccessful. So I made a selfish decision. I cheated on my ex-wife. You know, a selfish decision that I definitely regret. Wish it never happened, but it did. We found a way to get back together even after the situation, but the trust just wasn't there. You know what I'm saying? And even after we got divorced, let me say this: we spent the block again. I got divorced. My divorce was final in 2016. Ended up getting back together 2 years later, trying to make it work, because I try to make it work for my family. Because, you know, at the end of the day, I still wanted my family to be together. But the only thing, she wasn't willing to meet all the negotiations and all of the agreements that I expected, that I was looking for in order us to get remarried. Now, I was willing to meet hers, but she wasn't willing to meet mine. And so with that said, I told her, I can't do it. I can't go back and have to deal with the same situation before that, you know, that really caused me or pushed me to step out. And so I wasn't willing to do that. And so I had to move on. Now, did I learn from it? For sure. I learned, hey, I can't be selfish. Being married is not for selfish people. And if you're going to be selfish, don't get married. I'm going to tell you that right now. Don't get married because it requires a lot of sacrifice. And I know some people say, oh, I can do it. Yeah, it's not easy because 365 days, 24/7, you got to be willing to put your hard hat on and come with your lunch pail and work. You're going to have to work at it because it's all about being selfless. You can't be selfish. So that's one of probably the most important thing that I've learned in my previous marriage. Fortunate enough now, I found a woman worthy enough to be blessed with my last name again, because there was a period of time for 2 years before I went back with my ex-wife. I was in the mindset, nah, screw marriage. I'm never going to do this again. But, you know, fortunate for me, I went to therapy, and it opened me up to be maybe open to the idea. Didn't know if I was actually going to do it, but at least I was open to the idea. And so when I got open to the idea, that's why I got back with my ex-wife, because I was open to the idea of doing it again. It just didn't work out. But fortunately for my current wife, it did, because I ended up marrying her. And the funny thing about it is we met in college back in 94. I know it's a long time for some of you guys. Some of y'all might have been born in 94. That's how old I am.
No, I was actually born in 94.
Oh, wait, you said, wait. Brother Hink, say it again. You said 94?
Yeah.
Yeah, I met her in 94.
Jay was like 3 years old when he was born.
Yeah, I'm a 91 kid, so yeah, I was probably 3 years old. Yeah, I probably was. Yeah.
Well, I know I'm old.
33 now, but not anymore though. But yeah.
I know that's right.
But
yeah, that's what I learned, not to be selfless instead of selfish. You know, even when it comes to situations, you know, like what I was dealing with, I still had to learn, hey, you know, whatever issues I'm dealing with, you know, just have a conversation with them. You know what I'm saying? Hopefully we can work things out via conversation. Because there was a time period where, you know, man, it was my way or no way, you know, and I knew I couldn't be like that, you know what I'm saying, because it wasn't healthy. But that was the mindset I had, though. And that was just me being selfish.
Well,
I'll
follow by saying this. I'll follow by saying this, Hink. And let me know if I'm far from my mic or whatever. Let me know. My thing is, I was always taught with New Discovery that love is selfless, not selfish. There's a difference. That's what love is, particularly. And the thing is, you can't be selfish when you're in a relationship, particularly, because that is kind of gonna go like nowhere. And there's going to be variables that ruin it. That's simply just you being selfish, but what that selfishness leads to. Thank you for telling us that. And that's something I'm hoping I can implement as well, because man, don't think I'm selfish about it. It's just what time I kind of get to myself a little bit. I will say that just like getting some sleep, I guess, really, because majority of the time it's just working. So, the thing is, I guess, like, we'll be selfless in making time for my significant other, a day for chill, and there's a whole day to myself prior, which I would like to have, because the thing is, because we're not machines, but even we need our rest periods, and as long as your significant other can understand that, and she can be selfless in that regards, understands, my man needs to sleep for a little bit. We doing something later on, which I wouldn't. Which like I said, I'm all about compromising. I'm all about compromising, planning, and that alleviates some of the I guess you could say, like, not terribleness, but like it negates some of the, I guess, like, disagreements and things like that of the nature, because you want to prevent as much as possible on both ends, and just make sure you have a smooth transition. I say communication is always key. You gotta practice what you preach, and just implement it every day as best as you can. And even if prior day, and shout out to my man. God, I forget his channel, but God, everybody knows it too. But he'll tell you. He'll tell you. Listen, nigga, love your spouse every freaking day. The thing is, or be happy every day. So he said, just make sure the next day is better than the prior one. That day didn't exist. Keep going. Don't bring it up. Go. Just keep going. New day. Try harder. Both of you. Not just one of you. Both of you. So, I get what you mean.
Good stuff. Good stuff, fellas. So, Hank, let's move on to the next question. And I know you're a family man, so especially a father. So here's the next one for you. How do you support your child's dreams and ambitions?
How do I support my child's dreams and ambition? Oh man, that's another good question. Well, I have two kids now. My one child, my oldest is an adult. She's grown now. She moved on. She's married and my beautiful grandbaby she blessed me with. I don't have to worry about her no more. I don't have to worry about her dreams now. Me still have to supporting her by her dreams, by her sharing with me and me giving her some friendly advice. I'm not parenting her no more. I consider me coaching her now. You know what I'm saying? Once she get to a certain age, as your adult child, I'm not parenting you more. I'm coaching you. You know, I feel like once you hit that age of 13, I'm no longer parenting. I'm coaching you now. So everything that I taught you prior to, you should have. I'm just reinforcing what I taught you already. You know what I'm saying? So I'm reminding you, bringing it up to you, and doing all that. So the most important thing I can do is, as far as supporting my son now, is just be there for him. You know, and it's funny, this questions come up. I not only try to be there for him, I have to be there for his teammates. You know, because I got a couple of his teammates who ask me questions, inquire about certain issues, and girl problems or just life issues. Period. So that's one way I do support. I support him by making sure I call him on a regular basis, even though he's in college, playing college ball, doing his own thing. I got to still make sure I'm there supporting. I mean, I'm gonna be transparent. He just had an issue just recently. Coach kicked him out of practice. He thought he was put off the team. He thought, hey, I can do it. And so, I'm just,
Hank, check your volume. Okay, yeah, there you go.
Everything all right?
Yeah. The volume was a little bit low. Probably mine.
Oh, go ahead.
Is my volume
I have
off?
my eyes closed for a second because I was
go ahead. It's probably me.
Go ahead, brother. I'm sorry.
Okay, so but me as a father, you got to listen to him. So, and really, what he was doing, he really blew it out of proportion. You know what I'm saying? Because it wasn't that he kicked him off the team. He just put him out of practice. And so I said, "Well, big man, did you talk to him and find out what was the purpose, what was the reason, what you do wrong?" You know what I'm saying? I said, "We know he's an old school coach. And these old school coaches, they like to send messages. And so sometimes they will find their best player who can handle certain situations. And they will put you in this situation. They will yell at you, scream at you, but they know you can handle it. So they're going to give you give you hell. But they know, guess what? The next day, you're going to be in there doing what you need to do as far as a player. And so you're that type of kid that he can do. He realized that. And so he's testing your metal. You're his point guard. So if you're going to be the leader of the team, I need to know you can deal with this adversity. And right now, he's put you through some adversity. And so that was my way of supporting him, making sure I encourage him. Another thing is I'm on him about his schoolwork, and he's in college right now. He's supposed to be a young adult. But I asked him, man, is your grades in order? Are you making sure you make it to class on time? Just educating him on how to make sure you schedule your classes. That's me being there supporting him in every type of way. Another thing is having conversation with him. I know girls are going to be coming at you. How do you handle certain situations? Of course, a lot of this we already had prior to him getting to college, but just reinforcing what I've taught him already. Make sure he remembers this stuff and knows this stuff. Definitely making sure, He's got his priorities in order as far as was he going to school for. We didn't go to school just to play basketball. We come to get this paperwork, and he knows what I mean when I say paperwork. Paperwork means he get that college degree. At the end of the day, we need to come out with that degree. We're not going here just to say we went to college. We're not going here just to say, and I say we because it's a we thing. It's a group effort between me and his mother. We got you to this point. We need to see you all the way through. And all the way do is watch you turn your tassel to the other side, get your college degree from the president of the university, and making sure you do what you need to do. I told him I don't care about him playing pro ball and doing all that. At the end of the day, what's gonna make me happy? You getting your college degree. I don't throw a party for you graduate from high school because that's what you're supposed to do. Now you graduate from college. Now that's an accomplishment I'll be willing to throw a party for you for. And so he knows this, and it's part of the goals and things we all had planned and set out. You have to have goals for your kids. You have to guide your kids in the direction you want them to go, not the direction they want to go all the time. Because sometimes their directions are not good. So you got to kind of help them along, allow them to do it, allow them to make certain decisions, but you make sure you have your influence in there on those decisions. So that's me, trying to support their dreams. He's telling me, oh, I want to be a coach and also a counselor, and help young kids out and talk them through certain problems and issues that he had when he was young. I said, man, I think that's a great idea. I think you'll be a great counselor. I think you'll be a great coach. And I try to put him in certain situations of having, like during summer times when he's not at school or practice, he's working with the youth. So he's already getting that opportunity to do those things. So helping him to achieve his dreams by putting them in certain situations. That's what you got to do for your kids. And so that's what I do for him.
No. Hey, man, that was a great answer. Because that's exactly what I was looking for. Usually the reason why I ask this question is because usually when you think about like the dynamics between the kids and the adults, parents, sometimes they're at odds with the path that, what they want to go through, but then it's like what the parents want them to do. And they're not a happy medium saying like, okay, you want to go do this? Fine. But I'm going to put you to the ringer to understand if this is a proper idea or if it ain't. And, just trying to work things out to see if this is going to be the case. Because, of course, you know how it is. Some people will say, they want to do this, but they don't see the motivation in you really want to doing it. And it's like you sort of look like you contradict yourself into doing something you didn't want to do in the first place. And then you just throwing away money or, whatever ounce of resources you're putting your time into amongst doing something. So, I'm glad you're actually being attentive in that. That's why I always ask this, because it's something you want to always make sure, like, one, the parents got your back, even if they may not think that your idea is, grandiose, but, at least, I'm here to confide in you to know, hey, look, if you're going to do it, fine, but be on point. So, yeah.
Yeah.
All right, so let's move on to part 3 right here, and that is, how do you know your partner was for you? What is the difference from your current relationship to your past relationship? Which pretty much I think you explained a little bit in the part 1, but you can go and expound on it.
Yeah.
Well, let me say this: we're not partners. I don't consider my wife my partner.
I hate to see that.
We're not equal. We're different, and she knows that. She respects that, but I understand why some people say that. But as far as the question, how did I know my wife was for me? I mean, there's a lot of things that was about her. But the most important thing is her heart. She had a good heart. She was giving. She was loving. She's been there for me for a long time. I mean, like I said, I remember going back to '94 when I met her at the CAF, which is a cafeteria for short, on Murray State campus, and I had them butterflies then. Now, I know it doesn't sound masculine for a man to say he had butterflies, but yeah, I had butterflies then. I felt something special about her. But unfortunately, she was engaged at the time. So only thing we could do was just be friends, right? And I told her, I said, I can't take our relationship any further until you take that engagement ring off and let him know you don't want to be with him no more. I can't do it. Unfortunately, it didn't happen during that time, and I had to respect what she had going on. And that's why we never really got to get serious more than what I wanted at the time due to the situation. Now, she always said, well, I always liked you and I always felt this way for you. I said, well, that's cool, but I couldn't pursue that because I respect the sanctity of marriage. And so I didn't want to violate that. Because right now, I know it's just engagement, but I still felt the way that I did about the situation. I said, yeah, that's too close to marriage for me, and I'm not going to violate that because I don't want nobody to do me that way. But with that being said, we had a friendship, and we had something we built right there. So I knew if we was to ever get together, we had that friendship to always fall back on. If we ever go into a rough period, I always know we had that friendship, and we was going to always be there for one another. And so that's one thing that I knew that was serious compared to my other one. My other one, I could be honest with you, say we got married because my son, because we got pregnant, and then I knew, I said, I got to make an honest woman up. You know, I come from that old school way. You get her pregnant, you got to marry. And that's the days I was raised up in. So, and that's what I did. Now, I was going to do it with my daughter's mother, but you know, have family try to pressure it, and I'm stubborn. And if I'm not going to do it, I'm not going to do it. And I felt like her family tried to make me do it because I said, no. I said, I'm going to do it when I'm ready to do it, but you're not going to make me do it when y'all want me to do it because I'm hard-headed. My wife can tell you that. She might be in the chat saying some shit. I got to watch it. She'll agree with me saying I'm hard-headed. But yeah, that's some of the things I knew she was different. She was willing to learn. You know, she wasn't the best cook when I got with her, but you know what? She's learning. So she's working on her skills, and now she's way better than what she used to be. Because that wasn't required for her, the other one, her first husband. I required it. That's a necessity. She was willing to do it. Anything that I presented to her, she was willing to do. She was willing to make those adjustments. Another thing was, I believe in a mindset of one pot. She was willing to do those things. And when I see situations like that, I can ride with that. Like I said, she was a submissive type woman. She was a woman who had a father in her life. That's another plus for me. I definitely encourage any man, if you get a woman, she needs to have a father figure in her life. And he has to be a present, not just say, oh yeah, I got a father. Oh, we all got fathers, right? You know, we didn't just come out. I don't think we all came from the test tube or nothing like that. So we all have fathers, but are they present? Are they a factor in your life? And that's very important to me. And she had that. So those are little things that, you know, about her that really attracted me. Of course, you know, obvious her beauty, you know what I'm saying? That the way she keeps herself. I like a more natural woman, a woman who wasn't materialistic. That was another thing that really made me notice her too as well. So.
Okay, that's good. That's good. All right. So I'm guessing Jay stepped away, so I'm just making. So let's move on to the next one. So for number 4, what's one piece of advice would you give a man approaching marriage?
Man, what's one piece of advice I would give a man approaching marriage?
I should say young man, but yeah.
That's cool. Young, old, doesn't matter. They, you know, look, let me say this. If you are a man who's approaching, looking to get married, definitely make sure you pay attention. Definitely make sure you ask certain questions. Make sure whatever standards that you have, you hold to it. You don't waver from it. You don't You're not like a revolving door going back and forth. No. If those are your standards, stand on them. Make sure you're consistent. Make sure you are you're reliable. Right? Make sure you are those, because if you're not that and that woman sees that, it's not going to be good. So make sure you're a man of your word and you stand on it. Don't just talk about it, be about it. Make sure you pay attention to certain things about that you don't like. If there's certain things you don't like, make sure you address those things. Make sure you communicate that to her. Because if you don't address it, you just let it slide thinking it's cute, that shit's going to rise later. It's going to be a problem for you. So like me, I'm a man who doesn't believe everybody should be in my business of my marriage. I believe in a circle of two, right? So whatever things we got going on, we need to address as just me and you. Auntie, sister, brother, grandma, neighbor down the street shouldn't be getting involved. Your best friend, I don't give a damn, shouldn't be getting involved in my relationship. If there's a problem that me and her cannot resolve, then we're going to go to get counseling. That would be the only outside party that get involved. Somebody who's non-biased and who can give us some type of professional help. Other than that, nobody gets involved. I don't believe in your best friend coming over and getting involved in a situation. I've seen that happen before. I was a victim of it. Never again. Because when you do certain things like that, you go telling your auntie, guess what, at the Thanksgiving dinner or the Christmas dinner, she looking at you side-eye. But guess what? You and your wife done moved on. Y'all resolved that situation. But she's still looking at you crazy because you remember how you did her niece, how you did her daughter, how you did his sister. Now, we don't need that. So those are one of the things I would definitely tell a man. Make sure whatever standards you have. Now, y'all may not have it, but that's just one of my standards I don't move off on. Stand on whatever your standards is. Make sure you communicate that to that woman so she knows. We can't sit there and say, yeah, I got standards, but she never knows any of them. So if she does cross them, she didn't know she did wrong because you never expressed that. You never shared it with her. You never told that. Now, that falls on you as a man. Why didn't you share that with that woman? This woman's supposed to be your wife. You should express that. She should know. I'm a guy that don't believe in secrets, password, friends, and all that. We're not doing that. So if you're a man looking to get married, you got to let it be known that, hey, I don't believe in side pots. I'm all for one pot. You got to let that be known. Because if she a materialistic type woman and she believes in having her own money, that's going to be a problem. You know, we all know money can also break up a marriage as well. You know what I'm saying? Lack of communication as well as lack of intimacy. So make sure you express whatever it is you got on your mind that you think is wrong or that you think she's doing positive. Let it be known. Even the good she's doing. Encourage that woman. Make sure you uplift that woman. Make sure you let it be known. Hey, you're doing a great job. Like I tell my wife, she asked me how was it good food? I would say it's fine. I just be messing with her when I say it's fine. Really, it's good. You know, I don't want to give her too much credit because you might blow her head up. But every once in a while, you know, you let her know, hey, baby, you know, you're doing all right. You're doing better. I appreciate that. You know what I'm saying? But just let it be known. There's nothing wrong with it. Now, some cats might say, oh, you sound like a simp. Well, you go to hell. How you simp for your wife? You can't simp for your wife. Now,
right.
The heifer down the street, you can simp for. You know, your neighbor across the way, you can simp for, but you can't simp for your wife. So give your wife compliments and make sure you encouragement. It's a beautiful thing. So I don't see nothing wrong with that. But yeah, as a young man looking to get married, that's what I would share with them.
All right, hey man, that's good stuff, man. That's good stuff, Hank. It's really good.
Yeah, Hank. Hank, I heard everything that you said, brother. And to everybody, whatever the way I have headphones still on, so I heard everything Hank said. So, and I agree, because the thing is, me and Wally can throw sense on this question too as well. Nobody should be in my business between me and my wife. There should be no friends. Any of that. I've come to that conclusion myself. Like, people are so intrigued nowadays to let people in their business and let them relationship. That's not how it goes. Relationship is between you two. It's a covenant. It's a bond. symbiotic relationship between you two, not anybody else. Your sister, your mommy, your daddy, all them shit's out of our business. It's between you and me. And if we have a dispute of something, we sit down, we communicate, and we talk with it. And you said a counselor is unprejudiced, unbiased on every level. It's neutral. And I love the advice personally for that, because that's what's important. Because I can't have nobody else in my business except those should just be whatever I talk about. I don't talk about my boys or whatever. They're like, no, it's just between me and her. Whatever. That's simple. My boys asking me how my wife doing. Yeah, we doing fine. Don't worry. So, and that's how it should be, because anything we talk about should be between us, not this whole internet bullshit, which, I mean, honestly, to say it, anybody who does that to me is a weak person. It's pathetic. Man or woman, they do it. You're still children. You're supposed to grow out of that shit. So, that's just my 2 cents on that.
Jay, let me say this. Now, if it comes to a situation, now, Lord forbid this ever happens, but if it comes to a situation where I'm abusive, you know what I'm saying? Where I'm physically abusive, emotionally abusive, in 2024, financially abusive. I never heard of financial abuse, but I guess it does happen.
What is that?
It's a real thing. What they say. I never seen it. I never heard of it. But if it was one of those situations, I believe, then you get your family involved, because you need to get out of that situation. You know what I'm saying? If I'm out here beating my wife and putting hands on her like that, I expect her to call her family and let them know what's going on so she can get up out of the situation. Hell yeah, I would recommend that for anybody's daughter or anybody's son. It doesn't matter. No, they shouldn't keep that to themselves and take abuse. I would never tell nobody to do that. And that's why I had to make sure I say that, because like I said, keep it in the family. But if certain things are going on, they don't need to be going on, like abuse. Let it be known and get the hell out of there. I
agree. Now, and I understand what we're talking about. That is a hell extreme. And I knew what you were going when you said that, when, your family involved and stuff, because the only time you let them in is when it's family. And things like that, like you need to get out. And even vice versa for the man, if he's being used in some way, yes, then he's got to get out. Simple enough, like, but on both ends. So like only in that extreme do I agree. The people get out while you can, be safe. I don't support friggin' abuse, verbal abuse, physical abuse of any kind, physically hitting people, or a man hitting a woman hitting on men. Unless the man is defending himself, and that's freaking it. It's with her. But, like I said, there are loopholes to some of this stuff. But at the same time, this, like I said, he has no violence, and he's fine. And it's just like, I'm talking about, I'm not talking about the extreme shit. We talking about like the petty shit, like the stupid shit that people like to do, post about what he did, what he got her, and all that. I'm like, why are you doing that? Why? I'm just saying that. Like I said, I'm old school 90 kid for a reason, and I can't do that dumb shit. I'm sorry. That's not how my dad and my uncles did that. It's one thing we talk about helping me get an anniversary present for my wife, but our business and stuff, no, they say to us. So I just want everybody to understand, like, that's how you have to handle it. Keep it between you two. That covenant remains strong and unbreakable by not letting people put a battery in the plug in you. So that's another thing. But Wally, what's your final question for
okay, let's move on to number 5. So next line up, we got, in your opinion, what is an important trait of being a man? Or in this case, in becoming a man?
Right. One of the being a leader. I know we want to call every man a leader, but that's not the case. We know some dudes out here that lack leadership. So to me, one of the important things is you being a leader, you having morals, you and having a certain level of standards that you not only hold for yourself, but you will hold for your family, your wife, your children, and for anybody else that's in your circle. That's very important. Making sure you stand on your square, and regardless if not everybody agrees with you, as long as them people in that house and your residents agree with you, ride with you, that's all that really matters. As long as they have that understanding, that's all that really matters. While you could think, man, Hink sound crazy, I would never go ahead. Guess what? Mrs. Hink thinks just the opposite. She agrees with me. She rides with me. Why? Because I show a consistency. Another thing you have to make sure you, as a man, be consistent, be loyal, be reliable. Those are other great traits that you should have as a man. So those are just a few.
Hey man, I totally agree. I think honestly, yeah, consistency is the biggest one, because the moment you show a pattern and they know, like, okay, you sticking on the pattern, they know for sure, like, yeah, you ain't wavering on nothing. Because I think that's one of the biggest things right there, is the moment you show a wither of different movement that's not overly connected to what you've always been doing, then it's like you start to question. So yeah, very, very true. Very true.
Let me get one more example. What happened? Saturday, I had to apologize to my son in the same aspect I was telling you about. I was hard on him. I was. Wife came on. She see me in my truck. I was yelling. She said, "Well, who are you yelling at?" I said, "It's my son." I said, "Give me a minute. I'm talking to him." And so I didn't want to bring that energy in the house, but at the same time, I had to dress my son because of the way I thought he handled the situation. But I had to apologize to him, and I told him, I said, me being a leader, B being your father, B being the example that I need to set for you. Sometimes I don't do things always right. Sometimes I make mistakes. I'm wrong. And so I had to apologize to them yesterday. Hey, I should have came at you like that. I was probably way too harsh, and I should have been. I had a conversation with his coach, with his assistant coach, and it gave me a level of clarity. I'm thinking, oh, you just bullshit me. You just in your feelings because he mad at you, yell at you, and got on you, and you embarrass you in front of your team. And that's why the mindset I was thinking. And I didn't give him the benefit of that, and I should have. And that was on me. Like I said, I had apologized to him. I should have gave you the benefit of the doubt, because you haven't shown me why I shouldn't give you the benefit of the doubt. But I thought you was in your feelings, because I know the day before, you had a rough time with his little lady friend. And so I'm thinking, he's just in his feelings. Coach was on him. His girlfriend was, was mad at him too. So I thought, he was just in the feelings. That's why he probably responded the way he did. And I didn't give him the benefit of that. So I had to apologize to him. So, but that's me, like I shared with him, that's me as a leader. I had to accept when I'm wrong, and be okay with it, and not be scared to admit I'm wrong and apologize and make right what I did. And so I use that situation, myself in that situation with him, to present myself. He like, Dad, I wasn't mad at you. I understand. You just want what's the best for me. All that's true. But at the same time, there's a certain way that you got to come at people at times. And I think I was way too more harsh on you than I probably should have. I didn't get all the details. And once I got all the details, that's maybe either I should have been harsh on you, or I should have been, hit you, not as heavy as I should. I was wrong. Once I got the details, I realized that, okay, yeah, I was rough on him. Let me go call this man and let him know, hey, I made a mistake. I was a little bit too harsh. I didn't have to come as heavy-handed. Maybe next time. But this time, no, it wasn't the time.
No, man, that's very understandable, because, sometimes you don't want to make that one wrong mistake that can change the overall relationship between two people just because of small misinformation. So, I get that entirely. But
because it's one of those things you definitely don't want to make, he could look at it in that situation like, Daddy make a big deal out of it. It's not that serious. And he's right. It not that serious. But with doing that, that's like making a big deal. But once I found out that information, I realized I made a big deal out of something that really wasn't that big of a deal. And so I had to make adjustments. It doesn't matter how old you are. You can always learn from somebody. My son, 19, I'm learning stuff from my son. You know what I'm saying? My grandbaby, she 5 years old. I learned something from her. You can learn something from anybody, but you got to be open and willing to learn as a man. You got to be willing to do that. If you're not, when you stop learning, you're dying. You're not growing as a person. So you always learn. It doesn't matter where you learn. Even when you learn from somebody who's wrong, you can learn. Hey, I know not to talk like that because that dude's wrong. That dude sounds crazy. I know not to talk like him because he's crazy. And so I should just learn to move and not listen to certain people. But you learn it, whatever it is, whether it's good or bad, you learn it. Whether you're making mistakes, you learn from your mistakes, whatever it takes.
All right. So let's move on to the next one. What is the biggest lesson marriage has taught you?
The biggest lesson probably is no one could do this thing by themselves. No one. There's going to be a time where I can't move around like I used to. There's going to be a time where when them days get lonely, it gets quiet in the house, and it's too peaceful. Be days you accomplish certain things, but you want to share that with some people. And what I learned is you can't do this thing by yourself. Life is not meant for us to be alone. Life is about relationships. So that's one thing it's taught me how to have a good, positive, and encouraging, loving relationship. With an individual that that really means a lot to you. So that's probably the biggest thing it's taught me.
That's good, man. That's good. All right. Let's move on to number 7. How does it feel to be a father?
Challenging. It's probably one of your most greatest accomplishments that you can have. To know that something that you helped brought into this world is breathing, living, looking like you. He can sometimes sound like you or have certain traits about you that remind you of yourself. It's like a thing of pride because it's someone that's going to carry on your legacy, your last name. Someone you can definitely pour into an investment. Children are investment, guys, in case y'all didn't know that they are. Now, sometimes you don't get the return on your investment, but they are an investment. But they also remind you of how precious life is because you've seen and went through the ups and downs with your children. The days when they sick and you got to make sure you nurse them back to health. And there's going to be a time when you may get sick and they may have to nurse you back to health. So just the opportunity to raise and rear your children, man, it's a beautiful thing to watch them accomplish the things that they want to accomplish, like we were talking about earlier, their dreams and admiration, watching them be successful in doing that. You know what I'm saying? And listening to some of the knowledge that you pass down to them, how they regurgitate it. I would listen to my daughter share with her friends, yeah, my dad used to say this, and now I understand why he said that. You know what I'm saying? It's kind of funny to hear it. You kind of laugh. It's like, you want to say like, I told you so. But, at the same time, you want to say, she's learning or he's learning or they learning. They're learning. And so that's That's probably one of the biggest things about being a father, being a parent. So.
Hey man, good stuff, man. Good stuff. Yeah. Because I would know this like a little bit because I do know like other men that are like parents and stuff like that, and it is really one of the most greatest joys to be able to hold a little bit of yourself in your hands and be able to look at it every other time, even though most of the time when they're young they'd be crying, but none of that, it is one of those greatest gifts for sure. Just being able to get a mini version of yourself, even if it's not entirely you, but there's some part of them in you that just reminds you of yourself, and it's like looking at a mirror.
Mm-hmm.
But that's good stuff, man. But let's move on to the next one, and the next one is, what made you wanted to become a husband and a father?
What made me want to become a husband and a father? Well, I mean, probably the husband part, just because I wanted to be with somebody, you know what I'm saying? And I didn't want to, like I said, go in this world alone without sharing that with somebody. And I wanted somebody I can call my own. So that's why I wanted to have a wife, you know what I'm saying? And as far as to be a father, I wanted to pass my knowledge, my history, my finance on to someone else. And so what better person to pass it on is to your kids. So having children to do that, to carry on your last name, to have someone to share whatever experience and knowledge that I have with them, and whatever financial means that I have and that I accomplish and establish over a period of time, I want to pass that on to those my kids as well. So those are some of the reasons that made me want to do that and have kids and be married. So.
All right. That's good stuff, man. That's good stuff. All right, so we're getting down to the wire. So the second to last question: what joys bring you happiness?
What joy brings you happiness? I don't know what joy brings me happiness. I guess now, I mean, getting to support my son and his playing college ball, hanging out with my granddaughter. One of the things she is into now is Mario Brothers and Sonic the Hedgehog. So getting an opportunity, having conversations with her about that, because she looks at me like, how did you know about that? But she doesn't realize that Sonic was a game back in my time that that I used to play on Sega Genesis. Now I'm really showing my age now. God damn. And there we go. This is my wife who decided to tell my secrets of Funko Pops and action figures. Yes, it does also bring me joy of album shopping, collecting Funko Pops and action figures. That does bring me joy. Well, not as much as hanging out with my grandbaby and hanging out with my son and getting on my daughter's nerves every once in a while when I give her a hug. She don't like hugs. She don't like giving hugs. So I intentionally give her hugs on purpose and kiss her on the forehead just to irk her. So those things do bring me joy and happiness.
She throw you under the bus. She throw you under the bus.
My wife ain't shit for that. I don't know why she's doing this.
She's gonna put you down there. Oh man, that's crazy. Well, funny enough, you already answered the last question in number 8, but I'm gonna expound on this a little bit. So the last question I had for you was, why did you wanted to be a father? Which you explained. The reason why I asked this question personally for me is because I remember there was this time, right, where I was in the church at the time. I was young too, but I was in the church at the time, right? And my father knew a man that I also knew as well, which they were pretty cool when we was in the church at the time, right? He ended up getting a little baby girl, right? And there was a time amongst service, you know, he handed me his baby girl. He wanted me to hold her, you know, hold her for the time being, right? And you know, it was sort of like one of those really like transformative moments in my mind about like always remember in my head like this moment right here, able to have a life in your hands, and know while it's in your hands, it feels like it's in perfect care because it's not crying, it's not feeling too emotional, abandoned, or you know, however it may be, and just that feeling that care. And then you know, again, I had that same epiphany again when my brother was in a situation with one of his ex that he had, and there was a baby girl that possibly was his kid, which he ended up finding out that wasn't. But even in the time where you know he thought that it was right, overall as family, I just that loving experience that with the little girl and everything else, and just having her around me and all that, it just really gave me a good feeling about just thinking to myself, you know, later down the line, I would love to be a father because I love this experience that I'm feeling out. So, you know, that was really the reason why I questioned that, because I think also in another sense is, you know, in a lot of cases, especially for young men, right? I think one of the part of the things that, you know, of getting into a relationship is always questioning, would you even want to even get kids, right? In some cases, some people will say, oh, yeah, you should go. Like, why you not? Yeah, you should go out there, you know, get married, you know, get yourself a relation, get married, get kids. But, you know, everyone ain't really built to really raise kids, quote unquote. Like some people don't really think about it. Like they just do it because that's what their parents told them. But for themselves, have you really assessed that for yourselves? Do you really want to have kids? And I think no one really assesses it for themselves like that. So
yeah, and that's one of those questions that need to be talked about with the person you are entertaining and are vetting, or are looking to get into a serious relationship. You know, what's their stance on having kids? You know, because you don't want to continue to pursue a woman if you're a man who wants kids and she's a woman who doesn't want kids, and continue to pursue it might not be a good idea for you, because you think to yourself, oh, maybe I can change your mind. Well, what if you can't? Are you willing on not having kids at all? What if she medically can't have kids for whatever situation? So those are things you definitely want to make sure you definitely have a conversation about. You know what I'm saying? You know, what's your stance on kids? You know what I'm saying? How do you feel about corporal punishment? Maybe you're a guy who doesn't believe in spankings, but your future wife does. She believes in that. Or vice versa. You know, those are conversations that, you know, a lot of people are having. Another thing is definitely that definitely needs to be talked about. You know, what's your stance on finances? You know, are you a frivolous spender? Do you believe in having a lot of credit cards? You know, do you want to own a home? You know what I'm saying? Stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? Is your work, are you okay with one day we do have kids taking off of work and taking care of the kids, maybe for about 3 or 4 years until they get into school or some type of pre-K or something like that, you know? Or do we want to homeschool? How do you feel about that? All of those questions that we as a people, unfortunately, we don't ask, we should be asking. So definitely, you may want to be a father, but she may not want to be a mother. So how's that dynamic going to work? Are you willing to continue to pursue this woman, even though she told you, I don't have kids? So
great point.
Well,
I mean, I didn't mean to burst your bubble. I'm sorry with that at depressing type statement, but these are real things that you know that men have to deal with.
No. You're right to ask these, Hink. Like seriously, like these are like answers that people really need to sit down and really meditate, marinate, and think on. Like seriously, guys. Like for example, I've had dreams, I've had thoughts, I've like spent time. Like I'll be honest, I've been by myself for a very long time, and and also in a sense, I am a loner. I am a lone wolf. I'm quite comfortable being by myself, but the difference is, ever since growing up, ever since being raised by my parents, my grandmother, shout and and I want to make sure I give her enough credit. Like, shout out to my grandmother. She taught me proper manners, proper etiquette, and also what to look for in a wife through her and my mom. Like, simple enough. Like, I have a template from those two, and nothing's ever gonna change that. No matter what ignorant, dumbass modern woman says some shit. Look, I'm not your grandma. Well, guess what? My grandmother and my mother are the woman you will never be. You're not fit or on their tier of actual lady of what that is. And what I'm looking for is someone that is their template, but is their own personality, who fits the qualities of a good mother to our children. Not my children, our children. I don't just me bullshit. No, our children. That's what I'm looking for. Because with me, you know what you're gonna get. Everything that I show you in action, not just what I tell you. Because I prefer you go off my actions. Everything that I do, everything that I say, I will do. Everything that I help you out with and things of that nature, I'm about. But there can't be any forwardness to any of this situation if we don't put our priority and goals on the table. Me, I'm gonna let you know what it is up front. I'm not here to play games. I'm here to play games, particularly, even though I like you and all that. I'm here to listen. I plan on being married sometime within the next 2 to 3 years, particularly. Now, I threw a number out there. Normally, I don't, but when I married you is when I married you. It's that simple for me. I'm not going to dangle it for 3 or 4 years. I promise you that's not going to happen, because I ain't got time for games like that. Because that sounds like a man who's uncertain about if he wants to get married or in general. I vetted you properly. I know what you're about. I met your family. You're everything I wanted. You're everything I want in a significant other. So, hey, let's tie the knot. Simple enough. But like I said, I tell people don't they seem to go for hop into bed as the situation is. They use the term hop into bed particularly to forego everything else until they can get married. Like, no, you're like personality, everything, actions all have to speak louder than words for me before I do any of this. And that's the type of person I am. I'm a body reader. I read body language. I read facial expression. I read everything. It's a skill I fall in love with that I have not lost, even though I've been by myself for a while. Still able to communicate, and people are able to give me off those weird little signals whenever we're having conversations, or like little gestures. So, yes, guys, take it seriously. No games. And I'll say this: I'd rather be married than be a frivolous bastard that's just going through women. Personally, in my opinion, because that's not how I was raised, and I don't want to disappoint even though I always say this to this day, I don't want to ever disappoint my father. What? I don't want to disappoint my grandmother because of all the hard work they put into me. That means something to me. I don't give a damn what any of these internet fools say, because they got sticks shoved up so far fast because they've been hurt, and I don't care to hear them. I don't care to hear them because to me they're just a bunch of whiners and criers. Not saying that their problems they experience are real, but the thing is they haven't moved forward. And when you move forward, I think, Hank, you can understand this. When you move forward past it, you're in a much better spot, are you not?
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. For sure.
Yeah. And I don't want boys. I don't want young men carrying around that anger forever. I don't want them to do that. Because guess what? It's a dark place, and you're never going to be able to get away from it for a while. And especially if you've been hurt, or maybe not had the right role models around you. And the only thing that I can do to the men out there who want to be married, who want to be fathers of any kind, is listen. Stand on your 10 toes. Build the foundation of who you want to be. And also surround yourself with a brotherhood of brothers who give a damn about you. I got my brothers. 3 of them. Those are my. Listen, I'm gonna tell you this. These 3 men are gonna be the best men at my wedding when I get married. that damn simple. Only 3 men I want at my wedding. Because guess what? They've earned my trust and they've been around there with me through the worst of times. And oh yeah, and a side note, they're all married. So yeah, I trust their judgment, and I trust, like I said, and I trust them to be on that battlefield with me on the wedding when I'm there to get my wife. That's simple. So men, surround yourself with people who care about you and build up your foundation and build up a future for someone to join you on that journey. Because the thing is, you have to put yourself first in that regards before you let somebody else in. And guess what? And listen, they can work out in your favor if you have a high school sweetheart. I mean, it's rare nowadays, but our parents may have lucked out when they did that, or our friends. It just didn't happen for everybody. I mean, there's a reason why I didn't have a kid in school or any of that, because I listened to my mom and dad, and I just think that to this day I still talk to my father for us. He's 70 freaking years old, bro, and I still love to talk to the man about whatever I can learn from him and whatever I hear. And I just love to help him out with whatever he needs to. He said my mother a lot when I was younger, but now it's like I'm seeming to helping out my father a lot more when I'm older now, because I tend to gravitate to him now because I'm much older now. So forget you don't just have one male of experience like to give you advice, not just your friends, but you're also father as well. Especially if he's in your life and he's like, yo, son, like either I made this mistake, but I did make that bad manage to find your mom. So, you know a tip of what to look for. It doesn't, and the thing is, you have to show it every day to those kids. If you decide to have kids, show them good positive reinforcement that how you and your lady operate every day. We don't argue in front of the freaking kids. We don't do any of that nonsense. We don't yell at each other, period. That's one thing I will not tolerate. You got to talk to me and communicate like you're a civil person. You never dispute. I'm not saying you can't have any emotion. The difference is we're not yelling at each other. You hear me? I've never liked being yelled at by anybody ever since I was a kid. No one yells at me. No one does that. Children do that. Adults communicate civilly and sit down and talk like the actual business people that they are. And that's how you get by. But Hink, I love your explanation about Sonic earlier, because yeah, my age shows a lot when I talk about Sonic and Sega Genesis and things like that. I think the greatest joy I would personally get, because I'm gonna tell you this, Christmas doesn't mean much to me currently right now. I still love the holiday, but guess what? I don't care to get presents. I care to get presents to my kids if I were to have any right now. That would be my joy now, because guess what? One, I'm too old for presents, number one, and I just outgrew that shit. So I just got to be real with y'all. And two, I'm more of a giver in that regards. Like I would get something for my wife and the kids personally. Like I don't need anything. I'm content. Like I'm at that stage in my life where, I mean, of course I'm not married, but if I were, like, I'd be getting presents for them. Like I'm good. Like just seeing the smiles on their faces, the presents that I got when I was a kid, it's gonna bring a joy to me on the inside. I mean, they'll never know, but hey, it would give me great pleasure and joy if I did that. If I experienced that when I'm much older, whether I'm married when I'm 37 to 38, man, like I said, it's a joy to see it. And that's when when you're in your father's position, is where it's really gonna hit you. Like, yo, this is what Dad saw, and I'm seeing it through my eyes now. I'm the giver now, like he was. So so that's just my little thing on that. And I love the answers that you gave, brother. They give me a lot of hope for some people out here who really do seek to be with another person, and it's not on some control freak nonsense, but they're truly about their significant other and trying to be together and being about unity more than about singularity stuff. So I really do appreciate your answers, man.
Having me, man, for sure. I think it's just good to have these conversations, man. Especially some of the young cats, man, are trying to learn. They're really trying to get that knowledge. You know what I'm saying? Get that experience and hear someone who may have a little bit more experience who travel down a different road than maybe they're what they used to have an understanding. Because you, like I said, you can always learn from anybody, everybody. So I appreciate you having this platform to having this interview. Even with Wally, man, Wally did a great job.
That's why I put him in charge. I never
My guy.
Lord.
Hey, Wally, man, you want to host a Hink interview whenever he does one with someone?
Well, I think Hank will handle that perfectly. But with that said,
you don't want to do it. I got you. I feel you.
No, Hank will handle that perfectly because Hank knows what he's doing. But with that said, though, Hank, do you have any questions for us? By any chance?
Yeah, any questions, brother? I would like to hear them. Like any questions?
Man,
Feel free to
I guess I assume that you guys are getting close to that position is the reason why we had these questions. I mean, I'm just wondering, is there a certain young lady in your lives that y'all are pursuing? Is that why these questions are coming around? That's my only question for you fellas.
Okay. Let me throw myself under the bus. I'll be funny right now. No, currently right now, like I said, I'm all about building myself up. Like I said, I'm still doing that, guys. Now there may have been somebody who may have caught my eye, but the thing is, I want to make sure that I have everything taken care of, because the thing is, I don't want to get sidetracked. I want to make sure I'm constantly practicing the things that I preach also, but also building on character. What I'm also do, because the thing I'm trying to do is not be the same person I was yesterday, and constantly work on that. And like you said, I was told, like I said, I know we preach it a lot on these spaces, but I tell everybody, like, listen, you have good character. You have to have, just be good financially. Don't focus too much on that, but just make sure you build yourself financially, because for build up a family, it's cost money on both of your ends. And the thing, I cannot take that lightly. And the thing is, I want to be one of the men that actually plan for it. And I'm gonna tell you right now, Hink, once I get married, I'm gonna say this right now. I'm not having kids outside of marriage. I'm one of those guys. I'm one of those dudes. You gotta be married to me if we're gonna have kids. And I know it's gonna piss some women off. It's kind of like, wait, so you ain't? Yeah, exactly. Like, that's my requirement right there. I'm gonna be a man, stand on 10 toes on that. Hey, and listen, if that means you can't run in the ocean for a good while, sweetheart, hey, you got it in the regards. But no, and I have to dance around that topic, but you know what I mean. She can't rumble the jungle too much currently right now. But the thing is, I rather, like I said, I rather have things planned. I rather have things planned, things organized. Be one of those type of guys, because if I do it like that, I feel it'll take off a lot more pressure later on. If you do it later, then that's when it piles up one at a time, and you can't focus on that. And I know I can't do it that way, because I'm gonna lose my shit. I'm like, no, let me do it one at a time and have it organized. So, for example, plan on having kids. This is gonna be the first talk we meet when we first see each other, and another talk after before our wedding, about how this is gonna go down when we have kids. Like, we ready to have kids now. There's no debt for either of us now. Good. We can get it up and done, up and out of the way. I'm gonna have money saved up for them for college and all that. That's gonna actually be my gift to them. Literally right there. So they're secure in that regards. That's it. Anything they make after they graduate college, it's on them. Just like how my dad did me. So, like that's just something that I want men to prioritize, because you gotta be, like I said, because you're gonna be an example to your son, and he's gonna see how you move. And he'd be like, yo, dad did this and this and this and this before he met you, mom. I'm like, yeah, he did all this. He was this type of dude, exactly. That's actually how I want them to speak. That's how I would like for my kids to remember me by, like, dad stayed on his toes and didn't budge for anybody, all this stuff. So things. The reason why we ask these questions is because they're important, and we can't be, like I said, you can't just idly be passing it by or pretend like it doesn't exist. we don't want to. I don't want us to be out here, or people to be out here in general, ruining people's lives and just dangling marriage in front of them when you're not going to marry them. Like, no, like this is a serious thing for me, and I take it fucking seriously. It's not a joke to me, like how it is for some of these boys or for girls. I'll say that. And it's a serious thing for me. I come from a Christian family, so no, it's a serious thing. When I bring you to my mom, she's your evaluator, and my mom will look to you. She married a military army man for a reason. And what do you think he taught her? How to freaking scan everybody, how to look into people's past. So she'll find out stuff I couldn't find out, even though that's my job to look in for that. So my mom will do that. So little things like that, like why it's so important. But maybe listen, one particular lady has caught my eye, but I know I gotta keep working.
Okay.
Wally?
Well, for me, a simple answer. Now I know I asked what I asked you earlier, but pretty much for me, I'm just right now just focused on me right now. Pretty much building up my same way. Really no one special I'm really looking towards at all. Honestly, for me right now in the whole landscape of relationships, being in this conversation and being in these spectrums where they talk about it, honestly, I stand on this when I say this. I regret being in it. Honestly, it's just been nothing but more of a headache. And personally, it's just been nothing more than just looking at it and just be like, it just really just took what you want it to be, like what you want it to be for yourself. It just really just took it out of me and just say, you know what, if it happens, it happens. If it don't, I'm cool. I gotta just focus on me and just keep going.
Yeah, let it happen naturally. And I think that's the thing my brother, he would tell you now. His name is Chris, by the way, guys. He'll tell you just let it happen naturally. It'll happen. And he's not talking about like what we tell people, like, oh, it'll magically happen. No. Yeah, he said, listen, you meet that girl that you like, you're interested in. I've been going strong for 2 years and y'all still care about each other. Nothing's wrong. Like, dude, like, and she fits what you want, go for it. Don't make a hasty decision in 1 year, but I say it might have come as like 3 years just to see it. Like I said, for y'all to see everything in motion, things like that. Because one thing I do agree with Kevin Samuels, shout out piece of brother, it shouldn't take us 3 to 5 fucking years if we want to marry you. That's kind of wild because you're wasting her years and you're wasting yours. So you should know. Like I said, because like he said, this shouldn't be no game. Like I've known people to be together for like 8 years. I'm like, you can't tell me. Like at that point, you guys are already married, so screw the slip. I'm just saying that in that regards, but yeah. But Hink, thank you for being on, brother, man. Thank you for giving us your wisdom, man. Thank you for telling us your story, and all around, brother. Thank you for exuding the energy of how Black brothers should move around. Just like that's very much needed. The atmosphere that you bring, and just pretty much, I would say, the hope that you bring for most young men. Shout out to your family, your children, man. They're gonna be one hell of a great people. Coming from you and your wife, man. Shout out to y'all.
I appreciate that, sir. Thank you for having me, guys, and y'all have a great night and good luck in all your endeavors. All is gonna happen. Just let it happen, man.
I love Hink's sarcasm, man. He said, "Just good luck to all your endeavors." I love that, bro. I'm not gonna lie, a little sarcasm in there, but I know he meant it though. That's the difference. But Hink, just one last thing before you go. Listen, my man. I'm glad you told me you was a Sonic fan because I don't know if you know, but they be getting crazy with these movies now, and I think that movie is supposed to come out next week. The third movie for Sonic is about to come out this week. I'm actually me, Wally, and a couple of guys are gonna go see that on Saturday. I don't know if your granddaughter wants to go see that or whatever. Hey, she might like it. But watch the first two. Watch the first two in the house with her. I mean, she like that because it's the same characters that grew up. And listen, I ain't gonna lie, they could have messed that whole damn thing up if they stayed with that original dumbass design. Thank God the internet said "F you," change that stuff. Now we're at where we're at. We got 3 awesome movies, and everybody's happy right now. I'm happy, bro. I'm 33 years old. I used to have a Sega Genesis. I used to play that game religiously, along with Shinobi and freaking Mortal Kombat. I can't believe I'm in the time period, and Tom and my man Tommy said it best. He said, "I can't believe we're in a world that we can see a freaking Sonic movie. The very thing that was a cartoon in a freaking game is walking around on a big screen right now. It's ridiculous." I'm like, dude, it's crazy that I've been alive. I'm 33 years old to really see this, and I'm like, damn.
The funny thing is, I haven't watched the first 2 movies yet. I haven't seen the movie at all yet. So it's gonna be a shock. But I definitely gonna make sure I can see.
That's a benefit to you, brother, because that means you can watch that with your granddaughter at the house. That's a good.
Yeah, for sure.
You get something to brag to her about.
Yeah, because I mean, I know the characters because, like you said, I played the game too, so that won't be no culture shock to me. But just the fact that I was naming off these characters, she's like, look at me like crazy.
How you know that?
She looked at me, the mama, like, how does he know this? Yeah. Mm-hmm. So she just think it came out just, she just think it came out just yesterday. But no, baby girl, it's been out since the 90s.
Mm-hmm. 90s, not even just the 90s. That little bastard hedgehog has had freaking like 3-4 shows to themselves, like Sonic the Adventures of Sonic the Hedgehog. Where I used to watch all that stuff as a kid. And I'm like, yo, you have no idea what you've done on Baby Girl. Like this, like those were the golden years. I tell people all the time, like the 90s, as growing up, being 91 kids or 90 kids in general, were the golden years for us because there was a lot of old school shows that we loved watching from Cartoon Network, from Boomerang to Nickelodeon. Like we love that stuff. I tell people all the time, the original, all that. There's freaking there's Johnny Bravo. There's all these great freaking shows. The old school Scooby Doo. All these damn cartoons, bro. I used to people don't understand how much TV was. I tell people we grew up in a time when there was no internet and we played outside. And whenever we get up early, we would try to get get home to watch all the freaking shows because school will be out about 2:30. You got to get home before 4 because that's when them shows come on. You want to watch them. So or on Saturday mornings, bro. I tell people, bro, get up and get the cereal and just be glued to that TV for the next 4 hours. Remember? Hey, listen, it won't start at 7:30. It started at 8 a.m. Never starts at 7:30. 8 a.m. on Fox or TBS, CBS, whatever they have them on, and you would just be eating cereal, watching that shit. Like all the way till 12, because 12 after 11:30, they're done. And then the regular programs come on. And everybody knows, and anybody who had regular TV, like channel 157, all that stuff, and regular, y'all know what I'm talking about. Don't bullshit me like I don't know. Because I know. I used to be at my grandma's a lot. So I used to, anytime we get to be there Saturday, it'd be like, hey, oh man, damn, the freaking Power just coming. I gotta watch that shit. So yeah. So people know. Like that's my childhood, and that's something that whether I share with other people or not, like people know, like the nostalgia is real for us. For example, I'm gonna tell you this: when I get kids of my own, bro, and they like that cartoon shit, I'm gonna tell you this: listen, they go watch all the old cartoons with me on my days off. I'm gonna be like, hey, listen, no, we ain't about to watch that. We about to watch Swag Catch. Y'all about to watch this with me, that good shit. Because that's what I grew up watching. And to everybody out there, SWAT Cats is classic. I don't give a damn what anybody says. I got the whole series. I'm gonna tell everybody that shit is awesome. It's a good series. So Hink, I'm a real 90s kid. So the shit I'm saying that I remember, fresh. Only in the 90s baby would tell you that.
Got you.
But no, but also I want to say something else. Shout out to your design that you got in the background, brother. Because I don't think I gave you enough credit for that. Because I know your channel's called Hink's Basement, but I never realized how much of the shit you got decorated around your room, man. Like that shit looks really, really nice. And to me, you got one of them office business chairs, bro. I ain't gonna lie. This is what it looked like. like them steel chairs.
That's how it is when you come to the basement, man. It's relaxing. It's a good place. Got the couch. Got I got a TV and a lot of screens. A lot going on in here. Got my record player over there, and records back here, and
that's why I need to buy a record player. Oh, and Hank, one more thing, one last thing. The name of favorite old school album that you like.
The OJs.
The OJs.
Backstab.
Okay, I got you. I got one for you, man. Marvin Gaye, Trouble Man soundtrack. That's one of my favorites. That's one of my favorites. Because guess what? My grandma used to play that a lot when I was a kid. She loves Marvin Gaye. She made me a fan just by listening to it as a young kid. And when I got older, I listened to the lyrics like Bob Marley because I like Bob Marley a lot. And I'm like, I like Marvin Gaye too. Marvin Gaye is pretty solid, but I listen to a lot of the old R&B soul and stuff like that, and they have some really great damn jams that I love listening to. So, for example, Teddy's Jam from Guy, love that shit. That shit is a vibe to jam to, man. Teddy's Jam is freaking good, bro. I be listening to that on my job, y'all. I'm like, so to say that, so if anybody says I don't got respect for old school music, shut the hell up. Look at my playlist and come back to me on YouTube. I like over 200 songs. So, and man, respect the old schools. But with that being said, everybody, we're gonna bring this interview to a close. I want to thank Wally. I want to thank Hink, all of them for spending their time up on here to give us a good interview, but also getting to know Hink. And also, like I said, the brother commands a presence that most men need to really take hold of. And also, incorporate in your life and put in work. Don't just see it. Put in the work on yourself to what you want to do, and make sure you have a plan written down also. When you're together with somebody, I suggest that you have a plan too in the long term. Now, it's good to have one at the beginning, but make sure as you go along, you have something that make sure you have a backup as well. Because I don't give a damn what anyone says. Everybody needs a plan B. I know about plan C, but plan A should always work. Plan A should always work out for you, number one, but plan B should be the backup. Plan C, you call Wally. That's all I can say for now. I don't have any words for that. But with that being said, all have a great night. Be sure to comment, like, subscribe, and check out Hink's Basement, man. This has great things to talk about. He talks about sports. He's had us on a couple of times. The man's an excellent host, man. Really check him out. And you sometimes you'll see him on the Peef too. And like I said, he's one of the best panelists. To this day, I will only watch that for this cat because he's on there. That's simple. So y'all know where my loyalty lies, right? Simple enough. But y'all have a great night. Peace out, and be healthy, be safe. Have a good happy holidays. Feliz Navidad, Merry Christmas.